Hey Providence, my name is Rochelle. I'm here to walk us through our next week of our Bible reading plan. This week we'll be continuing in 1 Samuel. We'll read 9 through 28 and we'll read Psalm 38, 39, and 40. If you're tracking with us here in the Bible reading plan, we are in month 4 now, which means we are 1/3 done with the Bible reading plan. That's fantastic. But if you're not tracking with us, that's okay. We're only 1/3 of the way in, so that means you still have 2/3 to track with us. So I encourage you to take this time in your social distancing to catch up or to get started. So where we left off last was we just finished Judges and Ruth, and in Judges things were really dark. There was not good things happening, and so this just shows how much need there is for a good leader within Israel and for the people. And so the people are begging Samuel for a king to lead them. And so finally God relents and gives them a king. And the king that he gives them is Saul. And on the outside, he looks great. He has a really good physical appearance. He looks like a good, strong king. He's tall. He's nice looking. So on the outside, he looks like he's going to be a good fit for the people. But soon we start to find out that Saul has a long list of character flaws, which in the end will bring him down as a king. And so we are introduced in this section of 1 Samuel to 2 kings. First Saul, which we just talked about, who is full of a lot of pride, which brings him down. And then after all of that mess, we are introduced to another man, and his name is David. And so then David gets introduced, and David is a humble leader. He will be our humble king, our humble leader, as opposed to Saul, who is full of pride. And so then we meet David. And David is sought after, and he is found, and God chooses him because he's loyal, he's obedient, he's trustworthy, all to the Lord. And that is exactly what the people need and the direction that they needed to go. And so David is brought in, and Saul starts to get a little weary, and he's feeling a little threatened by David's popularity, by his success, and by his gaining power and control, because he keeps defeating everyone that he comes in contact with. So Saul starts to show some more red flags that he is being very prideful, he is getting jealous, and ultimately towards the middle of 1 Samuel, we see that David flees away from Saul, King Saul, because he is threatening and he's plotting to kill him. So David runs away, he goes to the wilderness, and he hides in a cave. And so he hides in this dark cave to get away and escape death from Saul. And while he's in this dark cave, David is having a really hard time, and he just leans on the Lord with his whole entire being. And so if you actually look at Psalm 18, 52, 53, 56, and 57, these are the Psalms that David wrote while he was in the cave and in the darkness. And those Psalms read, "When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. I will take refuge in the shadow of your wings until this disaster has passed." And that's what David is writing when he was hiding from King Saul in a cave. I feel like those verses just really hit home for so many of us right now. When we are in our homes, social isolating and distancing from the rest of the world, we might feel like we're in a little bit of a cave right now. And I encourage you to have a posture and a heart and a love for the Lord like David does while he's in the cave during those Psalms. Continually just saying over and over again what Psalm 57 is saying is, "I will take refuge in the shadow of your wings until the disaster has passed." Good. Great timing for our world right now. Anyway, moving on to the Psalms that we are reading for this week. So then we are going to read through Psalm 38, 39, and 40. And in 38, it is David writing and just declaring to the Lord that he is a sinful person and he is a sinful human being and that he needs saved and he needs the Lord to bring him out of that. And he's crying out to the Lord for his sins. And this is another act of humbleness that David is portraying, because even though in 1 Samuel he was defeating all of these people, he was looking to God and saying, God, you are almighty, you are glorified, I am weak, I am sinful, I'm a sinful person, Lord. You are the one that is glorified, you are righteous, Lord. And so we see again that David is declaring the Lord as king, and he is putting himself humbly in front of the Lord. So then as we go into Psalm 40, we see David declaring his trust and his hope again in the Lord. And so I really encourage you, as you're reading this through this week, where are you struggling to trust and obey? How are we taking our actions and our thoughts and our words? How are we being prideful this week and placing everything in ourselves rather than the Lord? Where are we leaning on ourselves and our own abilities and our own qualities rather than leaning on the Lord? I really encourage you to lean on God this week, whether it's fear, whether it's trusting Him with your entire body. I really encourage you to humbly place yourself in front of the Lord and just say, God, I am nothing without you. I am a sinful person, and I trust, and I will obey whatever you want me to do this week for you, God. So this week I am excited for us to be able to see both humility and pride, trust and lack of trust, obedience and disobedience, and how it plays into our worlds and how the story unfolds. So keep reading, you're doing great. We are a third of the way there. I am praying that you are all safe and healthy. Thank you for those of you who are able to be social distancing right now and staying inside. Those of you that are keeping the rest of us safe and providing food and shelter and everything that we need to do this, thank you for doing that as well. So the Lord will bring us through this. I'm excited to see what this week has for us. So have a great week, Providence.